a try, that's a miracle. Take me now, I have seen it all. I have seen everything.
Welcome back to the Gone for 10 show. It's Idiot 1 and Idiot 2 for England. We're going to lose to Samoa, but obviously you guys let us know in our YouTube comments what you thought about that. There's a bit of a tangent about the Cricket World Cup, the Rugby Union World Cup, a bit of everything.
Yeah.
So obviously great conversation in there, Baxter. I know you read the comments after I told you. Obviously, guys, if you have any comments on the things that you want to speak about, if you have any sports, if it's netball, rugby union, soccer, whatever you want to call it, if you have any comments that you want to have or anything spoken about, definitely jump in. But first of all, Baxter, before we jump into it, mate, how was your week?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. My pink eye's gone, so I'm pretty happy and not complaining about that anymore. So yeah, let's crack into this.
So we've spoken about cricket, we've spoken about netball, we've spoken about pink eye, but we're going to jump into obviously what we're here for. We are here to talk about the Rugby League World Cup. Round one's done and dusted. We'll kind of skip over the games that, unfortunately, due to the times they were on, we didn't get to watch. We'll talk more in depth about the big blowouts. We'll then jump into our predictions for week 2, and then we'll kind of chat a bit of shit like we always do if anything comes up. But obviously, popping it up on the screen first, we have the ladder. Pool A, you've got England first after their massive victory against Samoa, and obviously France second after defeating Greece. Australia had a massive result against Fiji, putting them first in Pool B. Italy, my boys, accord the upset. They knocked off Scotland, and they obviously move into second. In Pool C, Ireland had a massive result against Jamaica, with New Zealand narrowly edging out Lebanon, especially after that send-off to obviously Adam Dewey, which we'll touch on. And obviously the Cook Islands sitting top of Pool D after a cracking game versus Wales, and another cracking game between
very good
Tonga and PNG, which, again, you read some of those comments. Some of those comments were about what you wanted to say about that. But we'll jump straight into it. I'll pull us back onto the screen. And let's talk about the big result of Pool A. It was England 60, Samoa 6. Talk to me about that game, Baxter.
Well, given that Samoa is half made up of this Penrith Panthers side, I thought they'd come out with all guns blazing, but to only score one try against 10 for England, it was a big blowout. The conditions were good. I actually got up to watch this game, so St James Park, as you know, it's a cracker of a stadium. It gets loud when the supporters get behind them, and being England, being the home team, they really show that they're here to dominate. And as I scroll down and look at the amount of tries and the conversions and whatnot, it just my finger keeps scrolling. And unfortunately, as it is, Samoa, I didn't think they would get pummeled this badly. So good on to England, but Samoa needs to win their next 2 to get out.
100%. Obviously, there's a lot of questions asked about Samoa here. Arguably, one of the biggest is obviously some of those positional changes, I guess, that some players want to play. I'm not going to mention names. I'm not going to chuck it out there, but some players do need to have a look at themselves and see maybe is fullback the best position for them. But we'll jump onto the game. We're going to move in order. We're not going to go pool to pool. We're going to go in order that the games were played. So up next was our boys, Australia 42, Fiji 8. Great start for Fiji. They did get ahead, but then Australia kind of clicked into gear, pushed forward. And I guess the benefit for Australia is a lot of the players that played in this game, or some of them, are going to get rested. So they're going to be fresh. We have the players that can flip-flop throughout the tournament. But again, talk to me, Cameron Munster, man of the match in this game. Obviously, Victor Radley was the man of the match for England. Talk to me about this match. Kind of went the way we thought it was going to.
Yeah, greatest number 7 getting the man of the match is really good. If I'm Brad Fittler, I'm scratching my head going, how did I not pick Josh Adokar when he scored in the 23rd minute to score almost a field-length try? It just shows that man deserves to be in any rep team, whoever, regardless of whoever his eligibility is. He deserves to be there. He proved it why. As you said, yeah.
I'll jump in just quickly before you jump on their back. So you're saying we need Joshua Adekar in the New South Wales squad. I'm trying to get that referee eligibility because he was almost quicker than what Joshua Adekar was when he took off.
Given that he had a bit of a head start, yeah, he was a good referee. But as you said, we can our depth of quality of players. We had some guns rested. We can rest some guns this time around. Again, I think it's Italy coming up, so it's a good rotation. Everybody will get a chance to play. The numbers confused the hell out of me because I was like, why is our hooker out of the wing? Oh, wait, that's not our hooker. So that was confusing, but good effort for Australia and Fiji. Unlucky Api Coruscant and Vivian Kikau.
Well, obviously, like you said, it is actually Scotland that we take on next, but we will talk about that a little later when it does come up. We'll talk about the changes because we'll go a bit more in depth. That kicks off at 5:30 tomorrow morning, our time. So moving into the game that I called the upset, it might have been a bit of a bias, but it was Scotland 4, Italy 28. I don't know if you caught much of this match, but for me, it was Italy's defense won this game. Nathan Brown was brilliant. He led from the front. Man of the match performance was absolutely unreal. But there was, if I say 70%, 30% in the first half was played against Italy in defense, and then they'd come out and they'd score the next set. So again, is this the way you saw this game going? I know you didn't watch it, but was this the way you saw it going, or is this a big upset in terms of this group?
Any game I didn't watch live, I actually caught on the highlights, so it wasn't too bad. Obviously, I was talking on behalf of Scotland. Going into the break, 12-0 down, I thought that they could do something a little bit more. They did, they scored, but just to let in another 14 points unanswered is just bit of a head scratcher there. I don't know what's going on. Scotland need to do something more to get out of this group. Obviously, they come up against Australia next, and then they've got Fiji. So hopefully they can get a win somewhere and make it a contest for the second spot.
I guess the biggest thing is if Italy does knock off Fiji, obviously this weekend on Sunday, Scotland are out if they don't beat Australia. So that's how much that obviously first game is going to hurt them. But obviously jumping into the next game, I'll get your thoughts first on the blowout. Jamaica 2, Ireland 48.
Oh, I didn't even know Jamaica had a rugby league team. And it still proves that Jamaica don't have a rugby league team. It was just a bit of a shit show from Jamaica. But Ireland too strong, so I didn't really watch the game as in detail. So good on the Irish and unlucky Jamaica.
Well, I mean, there was that old cool runnings. Us Jamaicans have a bobsled team. Maybe in a few years, we'll see us Jamaicans have a rugby league team and they'll put on a bit of a performance, but obviously just outclassed. Kiri had an absolute field day in this game. Again, got man of the match, but moving on to a game that was a bit closer. It did involve a little bit of controversy, a bit of a referee spray. He did get sent off. New Zealand 34-12 versus Lebanon. Adam Dewey, big talking point, blew up at the ref, got sent off. Will miss the next game for Lebanon. That arguably is a do or die clash, which we'll get into later. What were your thoughts about this game? Did New Zealand kind of get off to a slow start but still flex their muscles, or did Lebanon just play out of their skin for most of this game?
Well, given that Lebanon went up 4 points early with a Josh Mansour try, I thought Lebanon would run away with it, but New Zealand, with the depth and the quality of players they had, they could afford to stay in second gear for most of the game, and they ran away with it in the end. So unlucky to Mitch Moses and Adam Dewey in the halves there, but it's never the best when one of your half players goes off with a send-off. 18-6 at halftime. I thought Lebanon could still be in it, but I don't think it's do or die. I think they will win next week, so the next game. So I think it's the week after is do or die for Lebanon.
Well, obviously, your man that you did pick to take out the try scorer, what an absolute freak he is. Joey Manu did get across the stripes. It was a bit of an individual try. So, talk to me. If you are Trent Robinson, if you are Nick Politis, you're walking into this meeting that has been speculated with Suali'i's management. You're pretty much telling them you're playing in the centres of the win, or thank you very much. See you later with Joey Manu wanting that fullback position after Tedesco.
Apparently, it's already been confirmed by. They're not naming names, but it's like a Roosters hierarchy that they're basically going to tell Suali'i, you're third on the list for fullback choice. Manu's second, but it could all change really quickly if someone gets a head knock. You slot Manu into the sixth there, and maybe Suali'i becomes a centre player, then he slides into fullback and gets around it that way. We don't know. Hopefully he doesn't get a head knock, Luke Keary. He is a good player. He is a good mate. And, just we'll have to wait and see, really.
I mean, after his performance against England, I'd almost say he's fourth choice because I've seen Daniel Tupu back there and he can do a job. So obviously we'll see what comes of that in the next couple of weeks. But talking about Roosters, the head coach, Trent Robinson, he's got the first win. It was France 34-12 against Greece. A bit of how we saw this one going. We didn't think Greece was going to put up too much of a fight, so it kind of went the way we expected.
It was good. England came out really guns blazing, got off to a 20-0 head start at halftime, and just scored 14 again. Won the first and the second half, outscoring them 20-0 in the first, and then 14-12 in the second. They were happy to sort of relax a little bit in the second half. Really good. Lachlan Ilias, 2 from 2 from the boot, so no complaints there from the Greece side. Look, I don't know who they have coming up or they have afterwards, so hopefully they can get a win on the board, make it more interesting for them and their pool.
Exactly right. Obviously, it will be interesting to see how the rest of that group plays out. I think you'd almost put not France in favourites for second, but they'd be up there as a team that could take out that spot. But moving into a few games that were a little bit closer come the end of week 1 games, it was Tonga taking on PNG. Man, you copped a lot of hate with this one. You had your early prediction.
I've got to give him a shout out. It's Sid Fieldmas Mafu. I'm sorry if I've butchered your YouTube name there, but his comment is, "Dude thinks Tonga will come third, mate. You're dreaming. Even without a good spine, Tonga will still beat Wales." He put Wales as in the animal Wales, not the country Wales. Look, if you're beating up a pot of Wales, mate, I'll have to refer you to Greenpeace there. But look, Tonga, you were like 18-0 with like, what was it, 10 or 15 to go. You didn't really dominate this game. It was just more of a game that sort of went back and forth. And as I quickly get up the match results here, like the way I saw the highlights, it was sort of a slugfest. A try for one, a try for another, and you only just came away with it in the 77th minute. So, look, don't you're 18-6 at halftime and you win 24-18. Is that not more of a worry than you just win? Like, you just win comfortably than you letting in an unanswered 12 points and having to score one more just to win the game. Like that. Like if Tonga, and as I said on the preview, I don't think Tonga's going to come out here guns blazing like they did against Australia and England, New Zealand, like we have seen in the past. So I just don't. I think this may have been their get out of jail free card, and the games they have coming up, I think that it's going to be going to fight tooth and nail to get out of this group. And I still stick by my third prediction. I don't think they get out of this group.
Well, I think you're crazy. You're attacking Wales, or he's attacking Wales, so we're not too sure what's going on. But obviously, they should get out, or I believe they should get out of the group. They'll beat at least Cook Islands or Wales. They will get out of the group, whether that's first or second. It's still yet to be seen, but I do believe they win at least 2 of those games. But moving into the last game of week 1, it was Wales going down to the Cook Islands in a tight contest, 18-12. Cook Islands were massive favourites, so massive shout out to Wales here. They definitely put in a massive effort. Tougher games to come, but Cook Islands will be happy they got away with the 2 points.
Yeah, it was another slugfest game between two second-tier nations, supposedly. Very good game to watch as a neutral. Obviously, Cook Islands come on with a win. Wales, I don't know if they've got Tonga or PNG up next, but it's a do-or-die match for them because I don't see them winning.
Well, I believe his comment was because Tonga plays Wales next, so I believe that's why his comment was about the spine.
Well, I'm going to put all my money on Wales, and we'll get into that in the preview. But Cook Islands, well done. Wales, were well done again. Unlucky to lose, but yeah.
Well, like we said, let's jump into obviously the week 2 predictions. I'll pop the games up on the screen. Obviously, like we said, Australia does take on Scotland tomorrow morning our time, but we'll come back to that one because we will go into a bit more depth regarding obviously the squad list. But let's talk about that next game on the list. It's Fiji taking on Italy. I guess we've seen both. We've seen again that Fiji are massive favourites. Give me your prediction, 1 to 12, 13 plus. Who's taking this game out?
So we're skipping Australia, the first game. Okay.
We'll jump into that one in the end.
All right. Can we zoom in? Don't worry about zooming in because I'm going to tell you right here. Fiji are the favourites, apparently, to the sports bet bookies. They're at $1.15 to Italy, $5.50. If I'm a betting man, and I am, I'll be putting a cheeky $5 little thing here on Italy. Fiji, whilst, yes, they have the players, I don't think they have the cohesion to rally around. Now, if Australia win the first game, which is on Saturday morning at 5:30, this being played at 12:30 at Sunday, I'm believing if Italy do the job, that's it. They're to win, and it's going to be rested for the third game, which is going to be a boring fest. So I am going here, Italy. I'm going with your blokes. I'm going to go 13 plus, and that's how I see it. But yeah, if you've got a cheeky $5 spare laying around, chuck it on Italy to win, and yeah.
Well, I mean, most of Italy are backing on these Italians doing well, seeming we're not going to another World Cup that starts in 30 days. So we're kind of throwing all our eggs into one basket. I'm going to go, obviously, biased opinion. I'm going to go Italy. I'm going to go 1 to 6 purely because, mate, their discipline was very, very poor. Obviously, against Scotland, Scotland couldn't put the points on them. I think if they have poor discipline again, Fiji will get the result. But Italy, Australia, obviously we'll get into later. They both should win. We'll call Pool B finished. But moving into a Pool A game, it is England taking on France. You can see the favoritism, obviously, to England here after that first game. And I know Trent Robinson at the Roosters is very big on defense, but can you look past England 13 plus after week 1?
You could. Being $1, being the home nation, puts a lot of pressure on these players. So I'm going actually a bit of a 1 to 10. I think, as you said, Trent Robinson, he loves his defense. He thrives in it, but I wouldn't be putting past it if France sneak it home here. So if you're another spare $5 note, or if you want to roll it into a multi, France at $26 is looking really juicy there. So jump on that. But I'll stick with me 1 to 10 for England.
Beautiful. And we'll obviously jump into arguably one of the favourites of this tournament, and is New Zealand taking on Jamaica. Now, you talk about a betting man. Even if you've got a spare dollar, I would be chucking it on Jamaica just by the slim chance they do pull something off. They're paying 251 to 1. Again, 20 plus New Zealand. But again, it's worth looking at, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll be stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm actually putting even 50 cents on Jamaica just to, and I'll give them a 13.5 start here on the points line, because I think that will pay dividends. But I don't think New Zealand go 13 plus. I'm going to go 1 to 12. I think they cruise home here. Jamaica didn't really offer much in their first game. I don't think expecting them to offer much in their second game again. But if you are a betting man, I'll be going New Zealand 1 to 12 with Joey Manu as a try scorer. I haven't seen what that's paying yet, but it would be very juicy. So roll that into another multi, and mate, you're having a Sunday roast on me. So enjoy.
Well, I guess seeming that New Zealand are that heavy favourites, it probably would be paying a lot for that 1 to 12. Joey Manu to score. It's probably under $1.50 if I'm being completely honest. But let's move on to another game that could go close. There is no Adam Dewey. He is suspended. But it is Lebanon taking on the Luck of the Irish, led by Luke Keary. As you can see, the Irish are favourites. Do you see this going the bookies' way, or do you see an upset for Lebanon?
No, I still reckon Lebanon can do it. Ireland had a really easy go against Jamaica, so it wasn't really that bad. But look, I'm going to go Lebanon 1 to 12. I think they can do it without Adam Dewey. I'm just quickly trying to do a little same game multi here. If you can't notice, so I'm going to let you know about that Joey Manu same game multi. But yeah, I'll stick with it. Lebanon 1 to 12. It's going to be a cracking game. This is probably the game of the round.
100%. It definitely has a lot of potential, but just jump in when you do have those odds. But we'll move on. It's obviously Samoa taking on Greece. It is 3 a.m. Australian time. I cannot say that I will be getting up for this game, because I'd be lying if I said I was. But is a bounce back for Samoa or another upset?
Look, Samoa are the favourites, but yeah, they're paying Greece $81. Now, how do you recover off a 60-6 thrashing? Like how do you recover from that?
Well, if you ask the Tigers, every time they've conceded 60 points besides this year, they have gone on to win the next game. So they've got a pretty good hit record, 4-5. Maybe they're going to be tapping up the Tigers for a few answers.
I wouldn't even touch the Tigers. I wouldn't even be asking what to do with them, because they don't have answers how to fix themselves at the moment. So I'm going Greece 1 to 6. Not because of the odds that sportsmen they're throwing out there. I just don't think Samoa will recover in time to deal with Greece's attack.
Well, I reckon you're absolutely crazy. I think Samoa's going to bounce back, and they're going to bounce back in a bit of style against Greece. But there is 2 games left. They were 2 of the closest games this week. Obviously, the first one will be Tonga taking on the might of Wales. Are we going to have to call? We're going to have to call someone because the Wales are getting abused, or is there a chance for Wales to take this one out?
My mate said we're going to have to call Greenpeace for him, because he's thrashing the pot of whales in the sea, and mate, the country Wales with the dragon, they're going to be thrashing his Tongan side. So I'm going Wales just purely on the back of this. I want a little feud. Look, if if he is watching, throw a little comment in there. I'll have the notifications turned on so I can chat some shit with you on here, and we can get a good comment thread going along. So I'm going Wales 1 to 12.
Well, I am going Tonga to bounce back, and Sid, mate, listen, just bet him a case of beer. It's the easiest bet you'll have. We've had this bet before on the podcast, and I won that one, so it's the easiest one you can have. But we'll jump into obviously the last game of round 2. It is PNG taking on Cook Islands. As you can see, the odds there, it's $1.18 to $5. Now, we did post on Instagram an hour ago. Big news, Xavier Coates is out for the rest of the World Cup with a hamstring injury. That's one big out, obviously, for PNG. So I do think PNG get the result here. I think they get their World Cup started, I guess you could say. But how do you see this one going?
I'm going Papua New Guinea. They show really a lot of attack in the first game to come home. Unlucky to come home in the loss. So hopefully they can bounce back and get a win over the Cook Islands.
Yeah, 100%. Like, obviously, as you can see now, we do have it on the screen for all our Australian viewers. We have the Australian times, Australian Scotland, 5:30, so on. You've got the times there. Obviously, we will have one more game that we are going to touch on before we do obviously finish off this podcast. So let me pop it up there on the screen. It is obviously Australia. They're taking on Scotland. They should win. We'll see how it goes. But let's pop this up on the screen. I'll zoom in a little bit for you there, Baxter, just so you can see it. There's a lot of ins. There's a lot of outs. Talk to me about this squad. Obviously, Australia right there. They can talk about Campbell Graham's there coming in. Isaiah Yo's coming in. Liam Martin's coming in. Lindsay Collins is coming in. Nathan Clear is coming in. Gillard's coming in. They're getting to rest the likes of Cameron Murray, Latrell Mitchell, Talakai, Ruben Cotter, and Tino. How beneficial is being able to rest players at this part of the tournament, given it's only 2 games in? How beneficial is this for Australia?
It's a big positive to rest any sort of stars of that sort of caliber. Like you look at the outs, Murray, Mitchell, Talangai, Cotter, and Big Tino. You have them in any other team, and they'd be playing week in, week out for your country. But as you scroll down the list, you'll see how the lineup is unfolding, with obviously Teddy at the fullback and Josh Adokar and Campbell Graham and the wingers. You got Matt Burton and Jack One in the centres. The man of the match, Cameron Munster, the man that's got a punchable biggest chin in the NRL, Nathan Cleary. You got his best mate, RCG, at the starting prop alongside Pat Carrigan, who's playing a bit of out of position here. Harry Current makes his starting debut for Australia at the hooker role. Angus Cryan, Liam Martin in the second row, and Isaiah Yo at lock, with Ben Hunt on the bench, Valentine Holmes, Jake Trbojevic, the winger at number 5, and Lindsay Collins there to round out the interchange bench. Who's the reserves? Who's our 18th man? Thought it was going to be someone good.
Not a bad 18th, man. It's not, you know what, we might not like it 100%, but it's not a bad 18th. And I don't know, do you want to call it 20th? Do you want to call it 25th? I'm not too sure what man they are these days with a number, but number 2 is going to be sitting in our reserves.
I would have picked Jeremiah Nenai as your 18th man. Just because he offers a little bit more. He offers a little bit more depth-wise if there is an injury. Excuse me. So I'd select him over Cherry. No bias aside, both being Queenslanders. It's just how it is. Quickly, I've just looked at the Jamaica New Zealand on Sportsbet. They've suspended any bets on Jamaica right now. You can go straight to top markets, head to head, dead heat rules apply. They got Australia, not Australia. They got New Zealand at $1.001. Jamaica suspended. So you can't even put a cheeky 50 cents to return a $125.50 return on that. But unlucky if you were trying to do so, because you can't. You probably have to ring up or wait a little bit longer. Games at 5:30 Sunday Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, so maybe wait until about 4:30. Being a Sunday, skin on a bender the night before, stay up, watch the EPL if your mate's got Optus. Hope he hasn't been hacked and roll into this game. So it'll be great to watch. Providing the banter
Well,
here, it's been great. It's been great.
Well, you know what? If you don't get that bet on, you know what the worst thing is? You get to save 50 cents. So it's not all doom and gloom. You get to save 50 cents either way. But Baxter, before we wrap up, is there any, I guess, talking points that you want to talk about? Any news around the NRL? Any signing news? Obviously, your boys are working him back. James Tarmow, there's a Staines and Peachy trade swap deal. So anything you want to bring up?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a swap deal going on with Staines. Staines is reportedly released from his last year of his contract at Penrith, just only signed a 1-year deal at the Tigers. Tyron Peachy hasn't been confirmed about his details. He's going back to Penrith after a 5-year stint there. But we'll touch on it. The unfortunately passing of Liam Hampson. If you don't know, you will know now. This bloke was 24 years of old. He's gone over to Spain in Barcelona with some mates, and apparently he's passed away. Unfortunately, here again, we don't like seeing any player, any person losing their life so young here at the Gone for 10 show. So we want to reach out and extend our condolences to the Hampson family. Apparently, I've heard some rumors that he was going to crack into this top 30 squad for the Dolphins next year. He was in their Queensland Cup side, so it is a player we're going to miss seeing next year. Looked really, really good, really promising for him, but unfortunately, it's not the way to be. Hopefully, how he went is unsure, but hopefully he went peacefully and quickly, no pain included.
Yeah, well, yeah, 100%. Like I said, us obviously here, both of us at the Gone for 10 show, the wider community. Yeah, we just want to pass on our condolences to the family, to the friends, to the players that play with him, to the Dolphins, anyone that's kind of known him. Obviously, it's a tragedy. There's going to be reports come out. I just hope that the media does keep to his family's wishes and kind of just let it kind of slide by now. Yes, the family can find out what happened. Cool. Do the coroner's report, send that across. But let's just hope that he does get to rest in peace and we don't have to talk about this for too much about him doing something wrong, him being drunk, this and that. So obviously, yeah, rest in peace. It's a shame we've lost the talent, but obviously we do hope that his family does cope with this soon. But Baxter, we're pushing 32 minutes, so I think that's a good place to stop there. Mate, obviously we've had some new viewers come in. They'd like to give you a bit of hit and miss in the comment section, but obviously we are to go on for 10 shows. So Baxter, there's a lot of comments. There was 24 comments. We only got 12 extra subscribers. So if they haven't liked, if they haven't subscribed, where are they going?
They're going for 10. Please subscribe. Please roll in the comments because I love it. Tag me in it. I'll get amongst it because I don't know. I forget who it was, but they were talking about the Rugby League, Rugby Union, the Cricket World Cup, and I was like, I wish I knew about this earlier because I would have just bantered in there and joined in the conversation. So please, I'll leave my notifications back on. But other than that, yeah.
Well, mate, we'll be back soon. We'll potentially do an Australian-Scotland reaction. But again, thank you as always. And I'll talk to you, obviously, for that reaction, or I'll see you for the review of this week.
Peace.
Peace.